What is going on, guys? This is Versus All Gaming with my review of Hamatora episode 10. And this episode, it was insanely dark. I did not think that this series would take such a dark twist, but it really surprised me. So at the beginning of the episode, we see morale people here. They're moving out, and we see that, the people who we all know had, normal lives at first, they're now meeting up with their friends. And we see one person, he like goes to this bar or some restaurant, and he actually walks by this table, and he takes this ice cube out of somebody's drink. And we see now that when he meets up with like people that actually know him, he has the ice cube in his mouth, and just out of nowhere he shoots it out, and it just goes through right somebody's neck. And that right there, I definitely was not expecting that. And then we have this other person that apparently, met up with some people that really didn't like him, because one guy was saying that, he could die and nobody would care. And we just have these like two guys on this bike just moving around him. And we see that with like this little push, he was able to not only send this guy back, but he sent him back right out into the street, and the truck actually hit him. So of course, he's dead as well. And so now we see that morale people, they clearly are minimum holders. I definitely know that first guy is. Now the second one, I'm not really sure, because it's possible that, he could have pushed him with a lot more force than we saw. But it just seemed like he just gave him like this like little tap, and he just went right into the street. But now we see that we go to the following day, and we have three Honey, Murasaki, and Nice. They're all out walking, and apparently they're like trying to play all three as to be some kind of pet. And it's because after what happened the other night, they really don't want to bring that much attention to him. So if they play him as a pet, it might not be that bad. But we see now when they're walking, we have all the people running and screaming. And of course, you're like thinking that it could be because of three, because people definitely have every right to be scared of him. But we actually see a character that we haven't seen in a very long time. And it's Takahiro. I believe I called him like some purple wannabe Hulk in the first review that I did when he appeared in the story. But now he's back, and we actually see that he's not, going wild anymore. And he can actually talk like a normal person. And so of course they like take him back to Hamatora, and we see now that he's calm, and we learn that the people that Morale was like working on, when they had went out, they actually went to this detention facility where all these bad holders were like held up, and they actually freed them all. And we actually learned that the Takahiro, he actually calmed down, and and coming back to normal after a week of being here. And so now that he got his voice and his mind back, he now wants to get his body back, because clearly he cannot go around looking like this, because he'll just bring so much attention and people will just fear him all the time. And so Hajime, she was eating, but she definitely had her eye on Takahiro. She was definitely interested in him, and that right there, really made me curious, because I did not think that she'll take some interest in this guy. But we see now that when he wants Hamatora to help him, find a way to get his body back, I was definitely surprised at Nice attitude. Because we all know, or as we've seen throughout the series so far, every time that he gets offered with a job, he normally takes it. He even takes the cheaper job. But when it comes to somebody that really needs help, he did not want to help out Takahiro. And that right there definitely shocked me. But now we learn that this list of all these minimum holders, they had now been leaked to the public. And now it's kind of like an all-out war here, as people are definitely treating these holders unfairly. And we've seen that with Honey, as she wanted to go rent out this place for the children, but they would not do that because she's a minimum holder. And I definitely, felt bad, because it's like at first they were saying that when you're a minimum holder, you like basically have life handed to you, but now it seems that like time has cut in reverse. And now we see that all these regular people, they are just treating these minimum holders so nasty. I definitely didn't like that, because it's just making these regular people just look so freaking bad. And we even have this one guy that's a holder, and this neighbor here, You know, he of course greeted him like it was normal, but we saw that he quickly walked off. And when a guy reaches the apartment, we saw this like nasty note on the door. So I do feel bad for these holders, because just because they're like born with this power, it doesn't mean that, you know, that they use it. It's obvious that they could try to live like a normal life, and maybe that's why nobody knew that they were a holder at first. But now with their secret on blast, it's kind of like they don't have a choice at the moment. And so once Honey walked out, we saw that these two girls, they were like taking pictures of 3, because we saw that he was being so calm and into whatever he was reading. But Honey had gave him this disguise. It was like this fake glasses and this nose that was like attached to it. And he was saying that, you know, he had no reason, you know, to wear that. And she clearly got upset about that, because she kicked whatever he was reading out of his hand. And, you know, 3 didn't really get mad at it, because, you know, he never gets mad at her. But we see that, you know, he actually does put it on. But now we have Nice, who had left because he was not going to help Takahiro. And we see now that, you know, Murasaki have ran after him. And so now we see that Takehiro's mother, I'm pretty sure that was her. She's like having this little, you know, like event going on where she basically, you know, broadcasting her opinion about, you know, how minimum holders should like basically, you know, leave Japan because they aren't allowed here. And so, you know, that right there was like kind of ironic, because her son is a holder and yet she wants to hate them all. And then we see on the news as well, they're like definitely making a big deal out of this. And then we also saw, I believe it was like one of the mercenaries, or I believe it was the guy that was like talking with Morale, you know, because this guy that, you know, had wanted to expose 3, Morale had gave him, you know, he gave him money, the mercenaries, and this car. So clearly, you know, Morale was definitely helping him. And I believe now we saw these kids, you know, just beating him up. And I believe that they beat him to death, because we just saw blood go everywhere on the screen. So I believe that guy is definitely dead. But we see now that these regular people, they are now attacking minimum holders. And so of course, you know, these holders here, they are not going to take this and go down without a fight. And we see now that like some of them are definitely fighting back. And we also have this girl. I'm pretty sure they haven't said her name yet, but we know that she is the assistant of Morale, and she's the girl that, you know, working at flower shop. And we see that she putting her hacking skills to work. And I definitely believe that like she's a holder, like some way her hacking, it probably does deal with her minimum holder. But we see that she was on this on this forum where we have all of these people talking badly about minimum holders. And we see that when people are actually posting stuff online, we see that, you know, at one point their address it starts popping up. And so of course that right there is not a good thing, because when you talk badly about these holders, they have these powers. So clearly if they wanted to, they could take revenge, and some of them actually do. As we have some people, we have the first pair that we saw in the beginning of that episode, where this guy looked like some fancy man, and the other guy was like a business dude, and he actually knocked on his door, and he was saying that because of the stress and the he was saying because of the stress and like something else that this guy made him feel, he was actually suing him for like 20 million yen. So basically, you know, he is robbing this man out of all of his money, because that right there is definitely expensive. And then we have this other guy who was like kind of nerdy. They actually forced him out of his home, and we see that, you know, one guy who was a minimum holder, he had this like really freaky power where he could like extend his tongue, and he actually wraps around his head. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the end of that process, it actually looked pretty cool. But we see that he had like this pair of scissors, so he either, you know, stabbed the guy with him, or he like cut him with it. So clearly that guy definitely not gonna be alright. But then we have somebody else who was also posting, you know, some nasty stuff online, and they actually threw these Molotov cocktails in his home to like set it on fire. So clearly, you know, that guy is gonna burn alive, and I'm pretty sure that his mother was in there as well. So clearly, you know, they also might go after her. But now it's just like an all-out war, a civil war actually, and it's definitely getting, you know, kind of messed up. And so we have Nice here, who after he gave an interview, which he definitely got worked up on. I'm pretty sure this is our first time seeing Nice get like really really angry, because you know, even the people that he was talking to, even they were like taken back from what he was saying. But we see now that he actually tried to contact Art, and of course we all know that it's Morale. He didn't answer, but he actually did leave this message. And so now afterwards, we actually go to another character that we saw earlier in the series, Chiyu, who we know is the friend of Raito and Birthday. And we see now that these two kids, like these two high schoolers, and they were like pretty freaking huge, I will say that. But they were like picking on this one guy because his father was like a minimum holder, and they were like telling him to leave. And so Chiyu here actually appeared, and she has the power to make her, I'm guessing, you know, somebody else or whatever she wants to invisible. And they try to escape, and when she appeared, you know, she like very out of breath. So maybe her stamina, you know, is required to see how long she can stay hidden. But these guys easily found her again, and she actually contacted Raito and Birthday, you know, to come help her. But when they found her, she was just all beat up. I definitely felt bad for her, and those two guys are definitely a piece of shit for what they did to her, because you like never put hands on a woman, and that right there is what they did. But now we go to Nice, who had actually went to go see Art. Finally, he went there. And we see that, you know, he wasn't there, but he saw a can of black coffee, and he also saw a black Cosmo, and that flower had been like very prominent in the series lately. So of course, you know, those two things that stood out to him, because because Nice said that Art does not drink coffee, so his partner thought that like, maybe he was accusing him of something. But when Nice left, he had went to the roof, and now Art and not Art. Now we have Morale and Nice finally coming face to face. But speaking of Art, I guess now it's like safe to assume that his character is coming back, because we see that Morale assistant, she walks into this room, and even though you don't see the body clearly, you see this hair, and it's definitely Art. So why would she, you know, keep a body around if his character not coming back? So maybe my first assumption was right, that Morale is like gonna plant this forbidden minimum inside of Art to bring his character back, and he'll fight Nice. Now I will say that when Art died, it was definitely shocking, and even though he is my second favorite character, with Nice being first, I don't want to see his character come back this way. I really wish that they would let him rest in peace, because Morale has already messed up his character by impersonating him. So clearly I'd rather have Art, you know, not come back at all. But it seems that right there is not going to be the case. But I would love to hear how you guys, you know, feel about him coming back though, because it's definitely happening. But like I said, this episode, it was very dark, but it was also pretty good. I gotta say, like, the darkness vibe that I would get it from this, it was definitely, you know, like, impactful, so I was digging it. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because it really helps me out. And you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.